Welcome to the final in the field 2025 Kernel Journal. I'm George. This is Whitney. It's October 2nd and it is a balmy 1 degrees. We are roughly, I would say, 85 to 90% done corn harvest in the area here, and we wanted to take an opportunity to come to the plot. As you can see behind us, it's been harvested, went really well. We wanted to get into some details on how the harvest went, what we've seen with some yields, and also just some comments of what we've been seeing around the countryside as far as corn harvest this year.
So we harvested the plots on September 22nd. That was 147 days from when we planted this to when we chopped it. We had just under 15 inches of moisture. We didn't get any moisture in August. I think the last couple of days we've got a few sprinkles of rain, but that's been it since the end of July. From April 28th to September 22nd, we had 2,385 corn heat units accumulated, so definitely more than I would say our long-term average. A lot of that was accumulated in August and September. We had a pretty cool July and just average May and June. The dry matter on the plot ranged anywhere from 32.4% to 49% dry matter, so optimum is usually in that 33 to 35% range for fermentation, crop quality, that sort of thing. So we were definitely on the drier end for some of that, and that's one of the, I guess, struggles with doing a plot with both silage and grazing varieties in it. So our silage varieties were 37.2 to 49% dry matter, and our grazing varieties were 32.4 to 37.9%. So we actually silaged it more optimally for our grazing varieties than we did for our silage, but that's kind of part of the game. And at the end of the year, when we just had no moisture and a lot of heat, everything changed really quickly. The yield, once we dry matter corrected it to 35%, ranged anywhere from 19 to 24.2 short ton an acre. So we were really happy with the yield. That was higher than we targeted on this field. We were targeting 18. And I think that a lot of that is in part due to the heat we had at the end of the year, and this field had quite a bit of nice moisture. It's pretty light soil, so had we not had that moisture all throughout the season, I think we would have been having some different conversations. So we're really happy with how the yield was this first year here.
So we had a really good day as far as harvest here. What essentially we did from a strategy from planting varieties is we had buffers on the outside of the plot. The east side of the plot has some exposure to a big tree line, and the west side has a pasture. So during harvest, we went around and opened up the fields. We took the buffer strips out and cut some passes on the north side and south side of the field to accommodate turning around for the equipment. And then from there, what we did was we harvest every individual variety into its own trailer load. The opportunity with that was to take it over a truck scale, so we got good accurate weights on every single individual variety, so we can monitor our yield. And from there as well, to every load with individual varieties, we pulled samples from and sent them off to the lab here, which we're waiting to evaluate some of the data that we've seen there. So in general, it was an excellent day. Code Custom Farming came in here and helped us out with the harvest. And we were very pleased with the performance of the varieties. We got a little bit long as far as dry matter. Part of that was just the nature of this plot. We're staging it alongside the producer that purchased this standing feed here. So we wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing as far as dry matter on his acres during harvest. But one comment I would say that I was a little nervous with just getting pretty dry with some of these varieties. I was nervous for cob drop, and that is something that we definitely did not experience in this field here this year. It was excellent. The cobs were harvested very efficiently with the plant, so we're very happy to see that.
So just one more comment to add to that. Often plot situations are on a small scale. That's the name of the game. Fortunately, we were able to harvest almost an entire acre. I think it worked out to 0.93 acres in one load. So we feel like we got a pretty nice, like a good yield number from that, as well as quality, because when we went to sample the feed to send it away, we were able to take from an entire acre's worth of a load versus just one little spot in the field. So that accounts for a little bit of variability that we've seen with some low spots and hilltops here too. So what are the concerns if we end up having a corn silage crop come off a little bit drier than that optimum 35%? When do we have to worry about fermentation, that sort of things, or what other issues do we have?
So one of the biggest concerns with dry corn is packing density. One thing that we really kept an eye on around the countryside visiting with producers was chop length. Traditionally, what we've seen a lot of producers in the area chop at is 10 mil. We've noticed on some of the drier land and where we've been experiencing a bit of drier crop, I've recommended to drop down to 8 mil. So we have a shorter product going into the pit. It's being chopped a little bit more consistently at that point. And there's been a lot of research done where if you have a shorter material going into your pit, you're going to achieve better densities. So the downside to running long on your corn as far as dry matter is densities. The sugars within the plant are being converted to starch, which is a good thing, but there's a bit of a balance there, I guess you can say. So sugars and starches drive fermentation. So we're trying to find a good balance between having a healthy plant as well as achieving good densities to help prevent dry matter loss within the pit there. So as I mentioned, we spent a lot of time touring around the countryside, visiting with producers, doing observations on kernel processing, because starch quality was very good this year. In general, kind of a broad comment, I've been very pleased with what I've seen as far as chomp length and starch, and it appears that we're going to have tremendous quality in our corn silage this year.
So looking forward to next year. We've started soil sampling here this week with the temperatures cooling down. This field we decided not to work this fall just to try and conserve moisture if there is much left in it. So it's just going to be left as is for the fall, and hopefully the stubble will trap some snow and help gather some moisture for the next year. With the soil sampling, our goal is to see basically if what we put down for this past 2025 season was sufficient and what we need to put down for next year to hopefully get the same type of crop coming off. So my expectations are that we will have depleted this field a little more than I would have liked to, just being that, we targeted a 18-ton crop with our fertility plan and ended up with some varieties being in that 24-ton range. So expecting those numbers to have went down a little bit on the soil test. So we just want to make sure that we're putting those back in the soil and not hurting this field.
So as mentioned, corn harvest is getting close to being wrapped up here. This is a really great time of year to evaluate and look back on your crop's performance. As Whitney mentioned, we're going around and doing a lot of soil sampling to develop crop plans for next season. Something that's really key is getting some feed samples taken to evaluate quality and get a strategy going for the upcoming feeding season. Another thing too is looking at your inventory to determine what types of crops you need to grow next year and if you have enough inventory to feed your cattle. So this is a great time of year to reflect on the season. Obviously it's a very busy time of year, but it's something where I'd encourage everyone, and something that we're looking at as well too, is just planning for the upcoming season. Some good opportunities as far as potentially booking some fertilizer, and we do have some seed discounts available for some early season booking and payment here as well too. So as I mentioned, this is a great time of year to be doing some planning and look forward to the upcoming season.
What is the plan for next year?
So as mentioned, we're going to do some evaluation here on just where the soil's at as far as fertility, and looking at some different strategies on making sure we're going to do the right thing for the crop this year, or for this upcoming year. I'm really excited about some of the new varieties that are coming down the pipe, just to get them in here and do some more evaluations with, similar to what we did this season. Currently, we're looking at potentially doing some more starter fertilizer trials, essentially we're open to some suggestions. So one idea that came through from a client was to do some clover seeding with a drone. after second pass. That's something that we're looking at and evaluating. But like I've mentioned before in presentations and other discussions, this plot is a good opportunity for us to try things and bring it back to the producers. So if there's different ideas that folks would like to see tried within the plot here, we're open to that. One thing that I really have top of mind here is doing some different things as far as population on corn as well too. That's been a pretty hot topic, and we've been seeing some real positives in the field with pushing populations.
So, as George mentioned earlier, we're just waiting on the results to come back from this trial. Once we get them back, we'll go through them, make sure everything's dry matter corrected to that 35%. We're going off chopper numbers right now. Yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, if you haven't already reached out to the office or any of our team, make sure to reach out and we'll email those results to you when we get them all published.
That wraps up the Kernel Journal for 2025 in the field. I think we'll be doing some segments in the office here through the winter, just going through a couple things that we're looking forward to. So something our viewers might have noticed, but Whitney is pregnant. Whitney is also going on mat leave here as of Friday. So congratulations to you and your family. You'll be greatly missed. We are going to have some special guest hosts next season, potentially, working with me on the Kernel Journal here. We're hoping that Whitney will swing by with her baby and be a part of this as well, too. But it's been a great season. It's been a lot of fun doing this. And like I said, we wish you and your family all the best. And thank you for watching the Kernel Journal during the 2025 growing season.
Thank you.